Hey guys, welcome to the Fandom Fusion podcast. I'm Lauren, and I'm very, very excited to say that today I'll be having my first guest, which I am very much looking forward to. Today we're going to be talking about Hamilton, and if you don't know what Hamilton is, it's an incredible musical made by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's about the founding fathers of America. And my guest today is going to be my mum, actually, because in August time we went to Victoria Palace Theatre in London to go watch Hamilton, and it was an incredible experience. So we're going to be talking about that today, and we're just going to be talking about the musical as a whole and our opinions on it.
Hi, I'm Lauren's mum.
So we've got my mum here, our first ever guest on the Fandom Fusion podcast. It's very, very exciting. How do you feel to be here?
I'm quite nervous. I don't want to let you down.
You won't let me down, don't you worry about it. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your experience with Hamilton and your opinions on Hamilton and how was it, at Victoria Palace Theatre. Is that all right?
Hamilton, yeah, go for it.
Okay. When you first watched Hamilton, so I introduced my mum to Hamilton. So when you first watched Hamilton, what were your thoughts? What did you think about it? What was something that really struck you as good?
I wasn't quite sure about it at the start because I thought it might be a bit boring. But I actually enjoy the fact that the music is all quite up to date, even though it's
Yeah.
about something that happened a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it's really quite in keeping. It's got some really good tunes in it.
Mm.
And the interesting bit for me is that I've learnt an awful lot about American history and the presidents and what's actually happened.
I wish schools would just teach everything
Yeah, I think
through a
that would,
musical. It
for
would be
me,
so good.
that's how I learn. And for me, it was a really, really good thing. And I know loads more now than I did before.
Same to be fair.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So obviously, me and mum, we went to London in, it was August, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get that right in the intro. August, we went to London Victoria Palace Theatre. Just talk to me about like seeing it live. How was that for you?
I was really excited. I
Mm.
enjoyed it. Obviously the one that we'd seen on, is it Broadway? New York.
Yeah, Richard Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously
That's
seeing,
the original cast, the recorded version on Disney
yes.
Plus.
So obviously having seen that and then to see it live, I think you kind of expect the characters to be like the ones that you've seen on the TV, but obviously they're not.
Yeah.
But equally, it's just as good.
I mean, the original cast was just
That would be amazing
incredible.
to have been
Yeah,
there.
so
That would have
good.
been really cool. So actually being in the theatre and being in London and all that experience was really good.
It added to it,
But then the
definitely.
fact that I'd been listening to it for so long and I have it on, as you know, on repeat in the car and everything,
Yeah.
then it was just like sort of it all coming real and it was really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just like a little story here, but I think it was about 30 seconds into the show, and I had a watch on that measures heartbeat, and I put it on silent because obviously I didn't want it to glow in the middle of the show. And I got a notification and I looked, I thought, I'm sure I've silenced this. And it said that my heartbeat was basically out of control, and it was because I was so excited to be there.
You were just beyond excited, weren't you?
Just a little bit. I think for me, it was just like initially walking into the theatre and seeing the set and the stage for the first time, not being on a screen. I think for
Because it
me
was exactly like it was on the
it
screen
was
as well.
exactly like it, and that was just incredible. I just remember seeing it and thinking that's actually in front of me.
So I don't know whether your viewers know, but we're going back again in February to
Yes,
see it again
we
for
are.
our birthdays.
Hmm.
Same day, interestingly enough. Um, do you think it'll be as exciting?
To be honest with you, yeah.
Will there be different people?
I think there's a few cast members. I know the person who plays Angelica, she's gone off for maternity because she's had a baby now.
Right.
But other than that, I'm pretty sure it will be more or less the same.
Do you
We've
think
got
the
box
king will be
seats
the
as well.
same?
No, I don't think so. I think that'll be Joel.
The
Who is
king was brilliant when we went to see it,
so
wasn't
funny.
he? Really
So
funny.
but he was a stand-in.
Absolutely played his part. He was amazing, and he could sing. Well, they all can.
Incredibly. If I had a voice like them, honestly, I won't be doing
You'd
a
be on
podcast.
stage.
I won't be doing a podcast to say the least. Okay, so we do actually have a surprise guest here. You can see the back of her head. Pip has decided to join us. What do you have to say, Pip? Perfect, thank you. She actually really likes Hamilton. That's why she's here.
To be fair, anybody in our house other than us doesn't get a chance to not like Hamilton.
Oh no,
really.
because just for an example, I was absolutely blasting it so loud, singing in the kitchen earlier. I'll be honest with that.
And I was blasting it on my way back from my PT session. And
Yes.
I'm always singing, and then Lauren rang me up and interrupted me singing.
Yeah,
which
and
is
she
probably
got
a
to
blessing.
Cabinet Battle as well, and I love Cabinet Battle 1.
It's probably a blessing, to be fair, because I can't sing, but...
I do apologise, you can't really see my mum now because Pip has decided she's the guest.
Which, to be fair, probably all people think is a blessing, so let's worry about that.
To be fair. So, I think... I'm only joking. I think for me, one thing I definitely want to ask you, and I'll answer this as well. If you could pick top 3 songs...
Oh,
if you had to,
top 3 songs,
and in the order of number 1's your fave.
No.
Do you want me to go first and you think about it?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay.
Please.
I think for me, Wait For It is number 1. It's just incredible. Leslie does an amazing job at singing that. Obviously, this is from the original Broadway cast recording. Absolutely love that one, without a doubt. Second place for me is going to be Satisfied. Renee, love her. The way she sings in that is so powerful. And number 3 for me, I'm going to have to go with Burn. There's so much emotion that Philippa shows in that, and I love on the recording as well the fact that they chose to have her actually burning the letters in the bucket. There's something about that scene that's so good.
I thought, to be fair, that the fire alarms would go off.
Yeah,
when we were in London.
When we were in Victoria Palace Theatre, the fire did get quite big, and I was very concerned. It was getting to the point where I thought, how is that going to go out?
It did, though. It was very effective.
It did, yeah.
Fortunately.
Right, what's your favourite songs?
I think it's really... Oh, God, I don't know. I like them all in very different ways. Anything with George Washington in is fine.
My mum loves Christopher Jackson.
Fine by me. Not only is he exceptionally pleasing on the eye, he's got a beautiful voice. Well, they all got beautiful voices, but
in One Last Time, that has to be one of your top 3, surely.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
Cabinet Battles, I like them, as you just
said before. So you're going to say One Last Time is your number 1, and then Cabinet Battle 1 and 2 is...
Yeah.
Your 2 and 3
a little bit predictable, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But to be fair, there aren't many that I don't like.
Yeah, there's not many. I can probably count on one hand that I might skip. But as a whole, just an incredible soundtrack. And I think the thing that I love as well is that they had the live orchestra at the front and under the stage, and that is amazing. Like the fact that that's all live.
Yeah.
And they keep to those timings as well.
I think, to be fair, obviously the original one that
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
he's a genius. He's
done so many incredible
the wording,
projects.
The storytelling, the music. It's like history, but it's not boring history.
Yeah.
And I said previously, I just wish all history was taught in that way.
Yeah.
Because he's genius, but the people that he has with him, just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just really, really meaningful.
And I think for me, obviously, the casting choice represents those historical figures as more diverse nowadays, and I think that itself has such a powerful meaning behind it, and the fact that he chose to do that is just incredible, and it was the best choice, I think.
Yeah, and
it's such an incredible cast, all of them.
I didn't understand a lot of the actual real history behind it, and when I googled it all, it didn't seem right that it was...
Yeah, when you see the photos of them and you think you're comparing it to the actors and you're like,
yeah,
to me you don't look like that.
No, exactly. In my head, the real thing was like the actors that are actually on when they're doing the show.
Yeah. I think as well, when we went to go to Victoria Palace Theatre, there was a book that I got, the big book, and in that it has photos of the London cast, some of the older London cast, the newer London cast, and some exclusive
The
originals.
yeah.
And I mean, when I was looking through that, it's so incredible how even just through a photo, someone just represents a character so well.
Mm.
And I think that just proves how incredible all the actors are, because they can
Yeah.
just do that.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing.
You almost don't feel like they are acting. You feel like it's real.
Yeah.
That's how good it is, and you can get so carried away with the music and things. You almost like, without sounding a bit dramatic, you sort of go off into your own little world.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the fact that it's such an incredible soundtrack, and I love, for me, just going off of that, is that there's no dialogue, and that's what I love. There's no dialogue at all, and it's all just song, but you can follow it so well.
Yeah, you can.
And it's the way things are sung and everything like that. It helps with that. Definitely. Do you have any questions for me about Hamilton?
No, because I just know how much you love it.
Oh yeah.
And I want to thank you for passing it on to me, because I love it just as much.
One thing I will say. Oh,
sorry. Go on.
I watched Hamilton for the first time. It would be 4 years ago now. And I didn't really mention it to you because I didn't really know what you thought about musical theatre. Obviously, I'd never really, never really had that experience. You can't see you at all. Pip, you're really taking over now.
I'm here somewhere in the background. She's better looking than me. It's fine.
But yeah, I think watching that 3 years ago, I don't really know if I should introduce you to it, because I recommend a lot of films to my mum that I've watched, because I mean, we have quite similar taste, don't we?
Yeah,
so
we do.
I pretty much know you'll
Even
like
with
it.
a vast age difference between us.
Yeah. So we watched it first in the living room, didn't we? And I remember playing it and I was looking over constantly, just seeing my mum's reactions to everything. And I'm so glad you love it just as much as I do. I think you listen to it more than me.
I think I do now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, what I find as well is that sometimes you can get quite infatuated with something and then you forget about it. But with this, I'm just constantly... I'm just constantly singing the songs, or I've got one in my head, or... I don't know, it's just something I can't seem to switch off from, because it is so brilliant. Yeah. The one thing I would recommend is, if anybody can do it, is to be able to go and watch it live.
Yeah.
Because the experience is just amazing.
It's incredible. I mean, watching it on a recording's just as good, but
yeah,
if you get to the point that we're at, where you just love it so much, I would 100% recommend investing in going to watch it live.
I would. It's definitely worth it for the experience, for the musicality, they say. The acting, the actual story, it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Manuel Miranda has just done absolutely...
He's outdone himself there.
Yeah. He's just done an absolutely brilliant job, and the casting of it as well.
I think as well, because it's such like a main Broadway musical, people maybe haven't watched Hamilton, but they've definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
And obviously, in comparison to my last episode when I was talking about Starkid Productions, that's the difference there, because it's not as mainstream, it's not as popular, but it's at that same level, and it's just as good. And I think for me, if you want that variation, if you're not a fan of just pure comedies or comedy musicals, then Hamilton's the thing for you. And even if you haven't, it doesn't sound the best about the founding fathers of America, it doesn't sound like your kind of thing, just give it a go, because I didn't do like history or anything like that. I'm not really a big fan of history, but that itself, for me, I didn't expect to like it, but it was so good. And I think that was the same with you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, definitely. Yeah, I could watch it again and again.
Yeah, I think I've watched it 18 times now. And that's not including real life. Right. Well, I'm just going to finish it on one little note, is that next episode I'll be talking about Marvel. I've got a few...
I like Marvel.
You do? You can be a guest if you'd like.
Because you introduced me to that as well.
I did, yeah.
I have a lot of things to thank my daughter for.
Thanks for that. Yeah, next episode will be Marvel. And then I've got a few guests lined up who want to do Stranger Things themed, which I'm not very,
I like
very.
Stranger Things as well because you introduced me to that.
I did, yes.
I'm going to be on every week now.
I'm not very knowledgeable about Stranger Things, but I've got two friends who absolutely adore it.
Sorry to interrupt, but Stranger Things, it's also out, isn't it now?
Yes, as a
Musical production.
Yes,
Maybe we could go see that.
we could if you wanted to.
Yeah, and then we could report back to all
We
your
could.
followers.
So yeah, the next few ones are definitely being planned out. If anybody has any suggestions of specific fandoms or things that they love that they really want a video on, or someone's point of view that they like, I'm sure I can probably find someone as a guest who knows more about it than me. But just initially, I'm just going to go through some of the things that I know and love, which is like Hamilton and obviously Star Kid, and then Marvel. And then, yeah, I'm going to get in some fans of Stranger Things. I might cover some games as well, like The Last of Us. You like The Last of Us? Obviously, there's the show, but I'm talking
You're
about
quite
the
an
game.
influence on me, aren't you now?
I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's quite worrying.
All the things I've listed, I've recommended to you.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Good taste. That's
thank
all
you.
I'll say.
Thank you. Right. Well, thank you for listening, and see you next